Oke, thank you Iman. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, so today we will have the lesson of history of Islamic thinkers. And although today should be Al-Ghazali first, but the presenter is not ready yet, so we will have Ash-Shatibi for today, and I will let you present your slide, and I will give another input which is not yet exist in your presentation, if any, if any. Okay. Yes, please. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon all. Today, me and my friends Duratul Haninda Isat want to presentation about Asisa TV economic talks. The first one in part one, I just want to explain about Aziz Satibi biography. Imam Satibi, full name is Abu Ishaq Ibrahim bin Musa bin Muhammad Al-Lakhani Al-Garnati. He was born in Granada in 730 Hijriah and also died on Thursday, 8 Sha'ban in 790 Hijriah or 1388 AD. The works of the Imam As-Sibili are Kitab Al-Muwafaqat, Kitab Al-I'tisam, Kitab Al-Majalis, Syarah Al-Khulasa, Unwan Al-Ittifaq, Lam Al-Isyutikaf, Usul Anal, and Al-Ifadat wa Al-Insyadat, and also Fatawa Al-Shatibi. And also I just want to explain in part 2 about Imam Shatibi's economic talks. The first one is object of ownership. Shatibi rejects individual ownership of the resources needed by many people. According to him, these objects are a gift from God to many people and have become common property. And also, Aziz Shatibi recognized individual property rights, but not to own an object intended by Allah for our creators. For example,
Hello? Hello?
yes, sir.
I'm sorry. It looks like your slide need to be changed to the second page or okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Um, for example, is what water, both in the sea and in the river. No individual should claim water as private property. This does not include water that is part of a plot of land that belongs to a person. And next, Indah.
Yeah, so next is tax. A tax, Hikmatul. Okay. According to him, to Ashatibi, the government may impose a new tax which is not in the nash on the public for the benefit of maslahah, because the maintain of the public interest is shared responsibility. An example of this at that time uh, was the taxes collected from the public for the construction of walls around Granada as a fortress. Next. Ibn Ulub, the Mufti of Granada at the time, stated that this text was invalid because there was no argument in Sharia. In this case, Ashatibi disagreed with Ibn Ulub because maslahah for him is something absolute that is closely related to human life itself. Next. Four is Maqasid Syariah. Maqasid Syariah. The concept of Maqasid Syariah in the sense of being fragile is closely related to the concept of motivation. Motivation is always the answer to why someone behaves. If it is, if it is related to the concept of Maqasid Syariah, is that in Islam the motivation of a Muslim in carrying out economic activities is to fulfill his needs, namely to gain benefit in the world and the hereafter. Next. In production activities, for example, from a Sharia perspective, a Muslim is involved in production activities, economic activities in general are an effort to protect the benefits. All the economic activities that contain maslahah for humans in Islam are called needs or something that must be fulfilled. Therefore, in the Islamic perspective, there is meeting or a fulfilling needs, not satisfying wants. Economic activity from an Islamic perspective does not command humans to achieve all their wants and desires. Maximization of satisfaction is not a value in the consumption behavior of Islamic economics because it contradicts the concept of maslahah and instead leads the society to a materialistic civilization. Next. Islamic commands a Muslim to fulfill their needs according to the will of the Sharia. Not all instinctive desires can become needs. Only those that contain maslahah can be categorized as needs. Economic activity, both production and consumption, must be based on maslahah because it is a representation of the process of achieving something better than in this world and the hereafter. Next, this will be presenting by Hikmatul.
Okay, I will explain about types of makosid. One is the Doruriyat. It's a necessity and a foundation in upholding human welfare in the world. and in the hereafter, which includes the maintenance of the five main elements in human life, namely religion, soul, name, destiny, and property. Second is hygiene. This type of makosid is intended to facilitate life, eliminate difficulties, and promote better care for the five essential to eliminate or reduce various difficulties, but only aid as a complement. And that's all about our present day. Maybe you guys have a question.
Okay, thank you, Hikmatul and Duratu. And after hearing your presentation, it is quite complete. It is quite complete, and I almost not need to uh, give you anything more because you take it all. Very good, and very colorful, and and this is very useful. And if your slide is good enough, probably I will use it for your junior. For your junior, I can use it. Of course, with some modification. That is why I like so much to give the student the assignment of making PowerPoint, because the PowerPoint student making is usually very colorful and using the latest technology, and uh, the lecturer, usually me, only blank space and words. Okay, but I need to underline something. I need to underline something from what you have discussed above, that the Makosid Syariah, which is usually people know it from the five, Makosid Syariah, which is protecting the religion, adil, hifzuddin, protecting the life, hifdun nafs, and then protecting the protecting the human mind and ideas. Hifdun nasl, protecting the legacy, the connection between family, and protecting the property, or hifdul mal, uh, maintaining the wealth. Okay, and actually, first, uh, this concept is first created by Imam Al Ghazali. Actually, by Imam Al Ghazali. Al-Ghazali is much more older than Asyatibi, and after years, Asyatibi complete this concept of maslahah and maqasid from Al-Ghazali. Okay. And your friend is also already explain about the Doruriyah Hajiyah and Tahsiniyah. Okay, I must correct it. It is not Tahaniyah, but Tahsiniyah. And it is usually in modern concept, Western concept. Usually it is called primary and secondary and tertiary need, right? And, and then Asyatibi, it is written with A S Y. It doesn't mean you read it Asyatibi. No, because it is a shin in Arabic. Asyatibi, right? Asyatibi, shin. Okay. You have al, and then connect it with shin. Asyatibi. Okay, and the one that the presenter did not give you yet, perhaps I may explain more. The correlation between Doruriyah, Hajiyah, and Tahsiniyah. The correlation. What is it? The correlation. If you have a problem in remembering what is Doruriyah, what is Hajiyah, what is Tahsiniyah, just remember that Doruriyah is primary from the words of Dorurat, or emergency. It must be immediately fulfilled, the basic need. Uh, then the Hajiyat is secondary, and Tahsiniyat is tertiary. So the correlation of those three concepts is the Doruriyah is the base for the Hajiyah and Tahsiniyah. It is already clear, right, that Doruriyah is the base. And the failure in Doruriyah will give any damage to Hajiyah and Tahsiniyah. What does it mean? It means that, let's say, in livelihood, in your family, for example, in such a family, the basic need is usually called the three, or in bahasa we call it sandang, pangan, and papan. The clothing and the clothing, food, and housing. The three basic needs. And according to Asyatibi, the failure in Doruriyah gives a damage also in Hajiyah and Tahsiniyah. Let's say the basic need is house, clothing, and food. And the Tahsiniyah is, let's say, car or motorcycle. Car or motorcycle is actually not basic, very very basic need. And let's say you have already a motorcycle, but you don't have a house. It will give you a big problem. you have motorcycle, but you don't have a house. So you should give a priority to have a house first rather than motorcycle. Okay, that's the example. Uh, and the next, the failure in fulfilling hajiyah and tahsiniyah will not damage the doruriyah. The failure in fulfilling tahsiniyah will not damage the doruriyah. For example, if you don't have any motorcycle, but you have completed all you need from housing, clothing, and also food, it is already complete because the tahsiniyah is actually uh, a complementer, something that it's not emergency to be fulfilled. The next, number 4, the connection between three. The next, the damage in makosid hajiyah and tahsiniyah, which is absolute, sometimes can failure makosid doruriyah. The damage in hajiyah and tahsiniyah, which is absolute, can also damage doruriyah. What is the example? Ah, let's say, for example, you want to have a car. And you have no money, and you need to buy it by credit, and it takes your money so much every month from your salary until you cannot buy your basic need, which is a house. Because you are currently in debt, you have debt of buying car, you cannot pay more to buy a house. That is for example. Okay, the last according to Shatibi, maintaining makosid hajiyah and tahsiniyah is needed uh, to maintain also the makosid doruriyah. Okay, what is the example? So the secondary, keeping the secondary and the tertiary to help maintain the uh, primary. Perhaps you all have any idea? Okay, so I think I need your help to give an example of it. Okay, and what else? Let's see. About the object of property, it has been explained by your friend and also text. Uh, so about the text, Asatipi uh, have argument that the text is not always uh, must be mentioned in Sharia according to Shatibi. While another ulama having idea that the text must be written in Sharia. That is the source of the separation, the source of the separation. If later you learn about the public finance next semester, perhaps, you will learn that there are two big ideas about tax. One group of ulama forbidden tax, forbid tax because there is one hadith that saying that Rasulullah forbid tax. And another group of ulama says that tax is no problem. So there are two big ideas about tax. Okay, so you will discuss it in the lesson of public finance. Okay, so I think it is enough. I think it is enough. Usually, in the offline class, the lesson of history of Islamic thinkers is full of game. Usually, I ask students to make uh, drama. I ask students to make a picture. Mr. Ajib asked students to make mind mapping, and he also asked students to make a YouTube account, also to make a video about the history. But in this online era, I think we cannot have it. We cannot have it, and I think the study using Google Meet and Zoom and etc. is enough in short time. Enough in short time, and we will discuss it more in the group if any question. Okay, is it already understood? Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, everybody. So I have one question for you all, right? What is the example of uh, maintaining hajiyah and tasiniyah to protect the daruriyah? Let's give the example in the group, okay? In the group, okay? It will exploring your ideas and to remembering the lesson of Asadi. Okay, looks like we have to finish this meeting. And thank you for your cooperation. I'm sorry for any lack uh, in this lesson. And thank you, Amanda. And so next week we will meet at Thursday, right? Thursday. Is it okay?
Yes, no problem, maybe.
Okay, thank you. Let's close our meeting with the akhir majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you, sir.
warahmatullahi. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
You're welcome.